All right, guys, Arizona Elk Draw 2024, and we are talking Unit 4, Arizona Elk. 4A, 4B are the two subsections in Unit 4 in Arizona. These are units unlike Unit 1, 2B, 2C, 3A, 3C. These units are a little bit easier to get drawn in. So Unit 4A and 4B are units that do not require a load of bonus points to draw. It is a units that have a good elk population, not known for giant trophy quality bulls. Obviously, there's still potential to shoot 350 plus bull. It happens every year, but it's not the expectation. There's a lot of state land to the north. Unit 4B is actually the northern half of Unit 4B is allotted in it's an over-the-counter archery tag system that's opened up in Arizona the last 2 years. So part of 3A and part of 4B, mainly the northern sections of both these units where it has to do with state land and there's some like cattle ranch issues. Arizona has opened it up to an over-the-counter hunting tag, which is after the season happens. Some of these tags start March 1st, some of them start April 1st. So they kind of go through that spring, that late winter or early spring type climate and season for these elk. That being said, you understand that that doesn't make a 4B tag too valuable when you can hunt them over the counter in March. There's good elk there, but it's a great opportunity, guys, to draw a tag. And so that's what I'm getting at. It's not going to take 20 points to draw any tag in 4A, 4B, early archery or late rifle or anything in between. What 4A, 4B offers is a chance to play the game in Arizona. So I believe that 4A, 4B is a great opportunity to go early archery elk hunting in some great habitat and in areas that you can shoot a big bull and not have a ton of hunting pressure. There's not a ton of tags allotted in some of this stuff because a lot of these elk in that early season especially stay in that southern half, and that's why you have that over-the-counter tag allotment specifically for that northern half. Not only is it because of the state land and the cattle ranch leases that are happening up there, but because a lot of the elk are found more north in that later season because there's more water around typically, and just in the wintering grounds. Where when it's hot in the summer, they're more towards the southern half in the national forest, in where there's a lot more water and cover. So if you guys want to draw a tag, if you're a non-resident or resident, you guys want to draw a tag, it's a great place to start. So in lieu of doing a limited opportunity hunt where you can have better draw odds, but the chance of actually seeing an elk or being successful are a lot lower than drawing a second tier elk tag in Arizona, which I would consider 4A, 4B kind of a second tier elk tag, just given the fact of what I've described with the over-the-counter tags available in later season, and just the overall trophy quality is not typically as high as a Unit 1, Unit 9, Unit 10, 23, 27, those units. So great place to start. You guys can hunt this 3 or 4 times before you ever have the points to draw a Unit 1 tag. So there's a huge advantage to that because the chances of you shooting a 350 class bull on your one and only hunt in any unit is very, very tough. But if you draw a unit that has the opportunity for good elk hunting, good rut hunting, and potentially a great precipitation year with great antler growth, well, I'd rather hunt a unit 4 or 5 times in the span of 15 years than try to put all my eggs in one basket in Unit 1 or 27. Now, if you're already 15 points, 20 points in, this, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the guys that are kind of more in my position that have drawn elk tags recently in the last few years and are just building points, or maybe at that 5 to 10 point range and actually want to go elk hunting. This is that unit that's good in those situations. It's a good unit to draw, a good unit to chase elk around, and potentially shoot a big bull, but just have fun elk hunting is really what you're looking for in these units. Southern parts of these units, again, you have some access to good elk habitat in the southern half, and then being ponderosa pines and big forests And then the northern half is more the rolling juniper state land, gets more arid, which can be better if you're trying to hunt with a bow, because where there's less water, all the elk are going to go to one location, versus when it's really, really wet, and then all the elk can kind of get water anywhere, and it makes it a little bit difficult, especially with the trail camera law involved, where you can't use trail cameras in Arizona to assist you in harvesting wildlife. So that's part of the deal. So it's understanding how the elk move and the best way to kind of chase them around. So if you do want to draw a tag and you want an opportunity on just to go elk hunting, and this terrain is very accessible as well, much like 3A, 3B, 3C, because they're right next door to each other. There's a lot of access, but it's can be tricky. There's not a ton of big glass things, so you got to really spend some time and locate the elk first. You're not just going to run into elk herd after elk herd in these units. You got to really do your research, do your scouting, and do your get all the information ahead of time before you come out. So, but if it's a unit that you're like, hey, I want to go elk hunting, I'm a resident, I have 5 points, how can I elk hunt? It's something to consider. I'm not saying you should go for it. There are several units, and I'll talk about some of these units that you're in that position where you're like, hey, I'm an Arizona resident, or I'm a non-resident with like 8 to 10 points, where I want to go hunting next year. Where can I go that'll give me the best chance of shooting a bull, or a nice bull? I don't need to have the crazy 400-inch bull idea in my mind, because most of those 400-inch bull ideas are just ideas. They're fantasies. A handful get taken out of Arizona every year, and a couple lucky hunters get to bring those home. But for the most part, the rest of us are just elk hunting and trying to shoot the biggest bull that we can. So Unit 4A, 4B is in that conversation. There's a couple other units like 22 North and 6A and Unit 8 they all have different, opportunities. 6B that don't require a ton of points, have trophy potential, and then you can hunt them 3 or 4 times before you're in that like all or nothing point range where you have no choice but to keep holding out, keep trying to draw the really crazy tags like Unit 1 early muzzleloader or something of that nature. So, but that's 4A, 4B, guys. There is more information. I'll talk about some of the over-the-counter elk hunts later on. There's more information out there about those. Those are interesting, especially if you're a resident. There's some good opportunities there if you're just looking to fill the freezer. So anyway, I hope that helped, guys. I hope the information I put up on the screen helped you as well. Give you as much knowledge and understanding of the elk draw before you press the send button on the application here, which the deadline is February 5th, I think, or February 6th. I can't remember, but here we go. So good luck, guys. We'll talk to you soon.